Maybe you have not experienced this yet, but I thought it was very important to put this video together for you because there may come a time when you submit your app to the app stores and it gets rejected. And I want to make sure you're prepared because we have personally gone through this with many clients. It's not anything we did or that was faulty in the way we did it. It's just you have to understand that the app store's terms and conditions is constantly changing. It's always evolving. They're adding new terms. And you're not going to know unless you read it, and it's extremely lengthy. So it's a pain. Okay, so here's what I can tell you. First off, Google Play for Android, very rarely an app's going to get rejected unless, again, you violate their terms and conditions or, it's just there's technical limitations, so you wouldn't be able to build it anyway. But it's usually terms and conditions. But Google Play, it's open source, so they let a lot more apps into the App Store, so that would be easier for you. The main problem you're going to have is with the Apple App Store. I can't tell you how frustrating it could be at times if you're not prepared. So I want to let you know what you're getting into just in case you ever run a situation. So let's say you have a really great app idea and you submit it to the App Store and they reject it. Don't get discouraged. It's going to happen. So it's very rare you submit it the first time and they approve it. What they're going to do is they're going to reject it and they're going to give you details as to why, and you're going to have to correct it before you resubmit it. So if they reject it, work with your development team. More than likely it's going to be us, and we'll evaluate it, and then we'll make sure we make the corrections and resubmit it. Now here's an important thing to think about. When we submit an app to the App Store, we do all of our internal quality assurance, Q&A. We test it, we try to break it, we make it perfect, the code's well written. So before we submit it, we aim for a smooth transition into the App Store. Apple's very tricky, they're very particular. Okay, so just count on it coming back if it gets rejected. Work close with our team so we can help you correct it and get it submitted again. Now, there will be a chance that you submit it again and they still don't like it. Do not lose faith. Just repeat the process and continue to make the adjustments, because one thing about Apple that you have to understand is when you resubmit your app for review, it's not the same person who reviewed it the first time. You're getting a brand new person. All right, so maybe the first person was having a bad day. Maybe they don't understand your app idea. Maybe it's, who knows? There's a million possibilities. All right, so if it gets rejected, resubmit again with the changes, and then make sure when you submit it, they give you a section to like write out what was done. Just make sure you write all your notes, say here's what we've done, and always be polite. Always, always, always be polite, no matter how frustrated you are. I mean, we had a client that took them 6 months to get their app in the App Store. Now, that's not the norm. This is an extreme circumstance, okay? And it could get very frustrating. It's just because it was a very challenging app to get Apple to say yes to for very simple reasons, which I don't know. But anyhow, it eventually got it in the App Store and it's doing very well. So that's extreme circumstance. So what I'm getting at from that is they never were rude or impatient or like, hey, why don't you guys approve it already, or what's going on? Because believe it or not, that one person that's reviewing it, you'll never meet to, speak to, hear from, they can disapprove you, and they'll make it very challenging for you to get an approval again. All right, because they'll put it way deep down into Apple's queue, or they'll just reject it, and then you have to reach out to a different support team, and it takes months and months and months for them to even look at it. They're just, don't do it. The best thing you can do is be polite, be helpful, always be engaging, how you can help, and that, just simple rule of thumb. It's common sense. Just be polite no matter what happens, and that way you can make sure you get it into the App Store as soon as possible. Now, in the event that it continuously gets rejected and you're repeating the same mistakes, there might be functions in your app that you might have to adjust to make it compliant with the App Store. More times than not, it's very small things that don't take long to change, but they will tell you if it's compliant or not. So just follow the rules, follow the guidelines, just submit it again, and it's not going to take that long. You may get rejected from the Apple App Store maybe 3 times. Fourth time, they're probably going to say, okay, it's great, it's ready to publish. And that's exactly where you want to be. And the rare circumstances, like one, we've been there, took 6 months. It's very rare, okay? So don't count on that. That's not the norm. So just make sure you're always polite, you're pleasant, make the corrections quickly, resubmit them, document your changes, and you'll be off to races. It's really easy. Google Play, never had any problems with them. I mean, in the example, the one that took us 6 months, Google Play approved it same day. This one, Apple took forever. So that's it. It's really simple. If your app gets rejected, don't get discouraged. When you work with a quality team like ours here at Venture 24, we handle everything. We handle the resubmissions. We handle all the heavy lifting for you. So we make sure that we maintain that positive relationship with Apple moving forward. But that's it. Just be diligent, be polite, and always know that you're just one day away from your app being in the App Store. It can completely change your life.